I remember when I was about 8 or 9, it was school holidays and I was bored out of my brain and I was complaining incessantly. And my mum took me up to the family bookcase and actually got down these set of books, The Dawn Shops, A Book of Naughty Children, Enid Blyton, and the Millie Molly Mandy books. Now, she didn't just hand over these books and say, go on, get out of my hair, go on, these are good, go off and read. She took the time to tell me about why they were so magical, about Billy Blunt and my little friend Susan. And she shared with me what her favourite Millie Molly Mandy story was. And she directed me to book 2 of Millie Molly Mandy, not the first book. She said, start off with this story. I think it's one of the best ones. So, of course, I went off and read it. And from that moment, I was hooked. Not only on the Millie Molly Mandy stories, I was hooked on books. I was hooked on reading. And from there, I had a lifetime of adventure and joy, and all because she took the time to introduce me to the magic of these books. So since I've run this channel, there have been a lot of people that have spied the Millie Molly Mandy books in the background, and a lot of them have said that this too is their favourite story. Now, I'm not going to read the story to you, but I am just going to share you a little snippet, and then you'll find out why in a sec. So basically, the rundown of the story is Millie Molly Mandy goes up with Mother to this little attic storeroom where all the jam jars are stored, all the jam pots are stored. And she says to Mother, this is a lovely little room for the jam pots. And Mother, as Millie Molly Mandy calls her, says, do you think so? And from that moment, all sorts of exciting and strange things start happening. Millie Molly Mandy walks in on Father stirring up some beautiful primrose paint. And when she says, what's that for, Father? He says, oh, I thought that this would cheer up the jam jars in the little storeroom. I thought I'd paint the walls and cheer them up. And then Mother gets her to clean the little attic windows so the jam jars can see out. And Grandpa gets a chest of drawers, and Grandma is actually sewing or embroidering a beautiful little robin cloth for the top of them. And Auntie and Uncle paint a beautiful little mirror. And so, you're starting to get this sense of excitement, this sense of build up that there's something happening in the little attic storeroom. But of course, Millie Molly Mandy is still in the dark. So one day, Mother sends Millie Molly Mandy to bring down some jam. And Millie Molly Mandy starts to think that maybe something might be up, because when she says, yes, Mother, what sort? Father says blackberry, and Grandpa says marrow ginger, and Grandma says red currant, and Uncle says strawberry, and Auntie says raspberry, and then Mother says very sensibly, any sort you like, Millie Molly Mandy. So this is the moment I'll never forget. She opens the door, and I can still feel it in my heart when I read this paragraph. Her own little cot bed with the cream coverlet on just inside, and the little square window with the green curtains blowing in the wind, and a yellow pot of nasturtiums on the sill, and a little green chest of drawers with a robin cloth on it, and the little green mirror hanging on the primrose wall with Millie Molly Mandy's own face reflected in it. And then Millie Molly Mandy knew that the little storeroom was to be her own little bedroom, and she said, oh, in a very hushed voice as she looked around the room. And then she runs downstairs and they have big hugs and it's all excitement and it's just lovely. And that story has always stayed with me. And from that point on, I was just hooked, baby. I just loved books. I loved reading. And as I got older, I went on to Little Women. And again, it was an edition that my mum had, a beautiful illustrated edition of Little Women from the 40s. And I remember I used to lie behind the couch in the lounge room where the north sun used to come through these big windows in winter. And I used to love munching on an apple and reading Little Women, because I used to pretend that I was Jo while I was reading it. And it was because of that book that I started journaling and everything. And oh gosh, so much pleasure, so much joy through so many school holidays, just with my head buried in a book. Now, why do I bring up? Well, because I don't think that you ever forget that person that introduces you to books, that introduces you to the love of reading. And I would like you to share in the comments down below Who introduced you to books? Who introduced you to the wonderful, magical world of books and reading? And let me know what impact that had on your life. Now, I have a sneaky sort of ulterior motive for this video as well, because it is actually my mum's 90th birthday today, and family are flying in from southern states of Australia to celebrate, and we're going to have a really big party tonight. So I want to be the first one to wish my mum a very happy birthday. So the advantages of having a YouTube channel is you can upload a video just after midnight, and you can be the very first one to wish someone very, very special happy birthday. And the added bonus is I'm sure it's going to irritate my sister and my brother. Not really. So happy birthday, Mum. We all can't wait to celebrate with you tonight. You always know where my mother is. Just follow the giggles, follow the laughter, follow the sounds of champagne bottles being cracked open, corks popping, and just joy. Just follow the joy, because that also is her name. So happy birthday, Joy Bell. We love you to bits, and we can't wait to have a great celebration tonight. Lots and lots of love, and happy birthday. See you soon.